Today, millions of people remember a leader who changed how politics sounded in America. They remember speeches filled with hope, calm energy, and a strong belief in change. They remember a man who inspired young people across many countries and cultures. But before all of that, he was just a boy trying to understand his identity. His childhood was not simple, and his life moved between different worlds and cultures. He experienced change, uncertainty, and questions about where he truly belonged in life. That boy was Barack Obama. And his story began long before any political stage or global attention existed. He was born on August 4, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii. His early life was shaped by movement, distance, and different family environments. His father came from Kenya, and his mother was from the United States. These different backgrounds gave him a unique view of the world from childhood. He spent part of his early years in Indonesia with his mother and stepfather. Later, he returned to Hawaii to live with his grandparents for stability and education. Each place gave him new experiences, but also made identity feel complicated. He often wondered where he truly belonged in the world around him. As a child, Barack was quiet, thoughtful, and always observing people. He was not the loudest student, but he paid attention to everything around him. Books became an important part of his life because they opened new worlds. Through reading, he learned about history, injustice, and different human experiences. These ideas slowly shaped his thinking and made him ask deeper questions about society. Why are opportunities not equal for everyone? Why do systems affect people differently? Even at a young age, he began thinking about fairness and responsibility. But at that time, he still had no idea where life would take him. But one change in his life would quietly shift his entire future direction. When Barack moved back to Hawaii to live with his grandparents, life became more stable. He attended school regularly and began focusing more seriously on his education. He started reading more deeply and thinking about how society really functions. Teachers noticed his intelligence and his ability to think carefully before speaking. He was not focused on popularity, but on understanding the world around him. He spent more time thinking about purpose, identity, and what he wanted in life. These quiet years became important because they shaped his inner world. And slowly, a bigger path was starting to form without him realizing it yet. Soon, Barack Obama would begin searching for something greater than himself. As he grew older, Barack Obama began thinking less about identity and more about impact. He started noticing that society was not equal for all people around him. Some communities had access to education, stability, and opportunity, while others struggled. These differences made him question how systems and governments truly affected people's lives. He became interested in justice, fairness, and how real change could actually happen. This interest slowly turned into a deeper sense of responsibility towards society. He started believing that leadership should focus on helping ordinary people first. And this belief would later guide every major decision in his life. During his education years, Barack met people from many different backgrounds and experiences. These interactions helped him understand how diverse and complex society really was. He studied history, politics, and civil rights movements that shaped modern America. These stories showed him how people could create change through unity and action. At the same time, he began working in community programs in local neighborhoods. There he saw real problems such as poverty, inequality, and lack of opportunity. These were not theories anymore. They were real human lives and struggles. And they deeply influenced how he began to see his future role in society. But one decision would push him toward a completely new level of purpose. Barack decided to study law because he wanted to understand how systems actually work. He believed law could be used not only for rules, but for justice. He entered Harvard Law School, one of the most competitive universities in the world. There he worked hard and developed strong skills in communication and leadership. He became known for his intelligence, discipline, and ability to understand complex issues. One major achievement was becoming president of the Harvard Law Review. This moment brought national attention and showed his leadership potential clearly. But even with success, he stayed focused on helping people rather than gaining fame. After graduating, Barack returned to Chicago to work in community and legal programs. He worked closely with families and helped people understand their rights and challenges. He listened to real stories and saw how policies affected everyday life. This experience made him realize that change requires action, not only ideas. He began to understand that leadership means responsibility toward real people. Slowly, his path started moving toward politics and public service. The quiet student who once searched for identity was becoming a public voice. And this was only the beginning of something much larger ahead. Soon, Barack Obama would step into politics and enter national attention. As Barack Obama continued working in Chicago, more people began noticing his voice and message. He spoke about hope, unity, and responsibility in a way that felt simple and real. His speeches focused on everyday struggles that ordinary people faced across the country. This made his message powerful because it connected emotionally with many communities. People saw him as someone who understood real-life challenges, not just politics. His popularity slowly grew beyond local areas and reached national attention. He was no longer only a community leader, he was becoming a national figure. And that shift marked the beginning of a much bigger political journey. But a major step would bring him onto the national political stage. Barack decided to run for the United States Senate, entering a much larger arena. His campaign focused on unity, fairness, and improving life for working families. He traveled across the country, speaking to people from different backgrounds and communities. His ability to communicate clearly made his message easy to understand and trust. People were inspired by his calm style and hopeful vision for the future. His support grew quickly because his message felt honest and relatable. Eventually, he won the election and became a United States Senator. This moment brought him into national politics and changed his life completely. His success in the Senate was only the beginning of something historic. During his time as senator, Barack continued focusing on healthcare, education, and fairness. He worked on issues that affected everyday people across the United States. His speeches continued gaining attention because they focused on unity instead of division. Many people started seeing him as a new kind of political leader. His influence grew beyond politics and reached cultural and social levels as well. Supporters believed he represented hope for a new direction in leadership. And soon, the idea of a presidential campaign began to take shape. The world was moving closer to a historic political moment. A global political shift was about to begin. Barack Obama officially launched his presidential campaign, and everything changed. His message of hope and change reached millions of people across America and beyond. Large crowds gathered at his speeches, creating powerful emotional moments everywhere he went. People believed he represented a new direction in politics and leadership style. His campaign focused on unity, progress, and bringing people together across differences. His simple and powerful words inspired young people and older generations alike. Support continued growing until he became one of the strongest candidates in history. And the world watched closely as a historic election unfolded. Eventually, Barack Obama was elected President of the United States. This moment became one of the most important political events in modern history. Millions of people celebrated because it represented hope and progress for many communities. As president, he worked on healthcare reform, economic recovery, and international cooperation. He focused on bringing people together during difficult and divided political times. His leadership style was calm, thoughtful, and focused on long-term solutions. He became a global symbol of hope, change, and possibility for many. And his influence extended far beyond politics into culture and society worldwide. But his greatest impact was not only political, it was personal inspiration. People around the world saw that change is possible through determination and belief. Young people especially felt inspired to dream bigger and think more confidently about future. His story showed that background does not limit future success or leadership potential. He became a symbol of what is possible when effort meets opportunity. Even after his presidency, His influence continued shaping conversations and ideas. His speeches and message still inspire millions of people today across generations. The boy who once searched for identity became a global symbol of hope. And that is why Barack Obama inspired an entire generation.